Hello YouTube, Rohan this side. In this video, we will be going through a new open source cncf tool, which is Keycloak. So Keycloak is an open source tool which is built for IAM or for simplifying identity and access management process for organizations and for projects. So with using Keycloak, we can add authentication to the applications so that authentic and authorized user can access the application using the credentials. So like if you're not aware of identity and access management, aka IAM, so let us first understand what is IAM. So credits to this website. So IAM is nothing but is a framework of business processes where we implement policies and technologies that facilitates the management of the digital identities. So in simple words, IAM is a framework in which we implement policies and create users and attach roles to the different users as well. So suppose if we have a project and we have many users in that project, so like admin, uh, developers, QA engineers, DevOps, etc. and etc. So you can consider these as your users, and they have a different or a specific role, which according to they work in the project. So using IAM policies, we can give the specific conditions, specific roles to uh, to the users in the project so that they can work efficiently and they should not like interfere or inherit the properties of other users. So you can go through this article and the topic of IAM in depth so that you can have a better understanding. And even the cloud providers and even the local or the bare metals, we can implement IAM. So why is IAM important? So is why is IAM important? So business leaders and IT departments. What I have already and gave you the understanding, like why we need this. So to increase the regulatory and organizational pressure to protect access to corporate resources. So you can go through the definitions and all the theory part of the IAM. I'm not going through to to whole because it will take time, and our main purpose of this video is to have a better understanding to integrate and implement Keycloak in the Kubernetes cluster. So the feature of Keycloak is we can add authentication to application so that the authentic users can easily access the application with the credentials they are provided by the admin. And we can also add single sign-on, identity brokering, and social login, user federation. We have a panel and dashboard for admin console as well, and we can handle the account management console as well. And Keycloak follows standard protocols so that it is very secure, and it also uses authorization services. And most importantly, Keycloak is a cloud native computing foundation incubation project. So it is very good project, and it's an open source, so anyone can use it. So let us start the demonstration, like how to uh, install Keycloak in your Kubernetes cluster. So installing Keycloak uh, in your Kubernetes cluster is not a very big task, but it requires database so that it can store the data of the users which we are creating by the admin using the UI console. So for that, in my demonstration video, I will be using PostgreSql, but Keycloak also supports other databases as well, like MySQL, Redis, etc., etc. So you can easily implement that. So for this demonstration, I have created a GitHub repository, and in the README file, I have already given you each and every command which I will be using in installing and deploying Keycloak in my Kubernetes cluster. So let's get jump directly to the Kubernetes cluster. So in this video, I will be using Kilacoda as I have already used in all of my videos, all of my previous videos. So I will be selecting Kubernetes 1.30 version, which is the latest one. And let us check if nodes are active or not. Let's minimize this. Kubernetes, kubectl, get nodes. So here you can see I am getting the status of the nodes, and I'm using two nodes here. One is control pin and one is node 01. So in this in this GitHub repository, I have created three manifest file, which is for persistent volume claim, and storage class. So as I have already given you the overview that I will be using PostgreSql for storing and for handling the data for my Keycloak application. So I am using persistent volume so that the data of my Keycloak server will be persistent throughout the deployment, or if if any pod or anything like terminated by any chance, then also my data will be persistent so that I can use it and modify it accordingly. So let's first directly clone this repository to my Kubernetes cluster. Let's directly move to this folder. So this is my persistent volume claim and storage class. You can go through the YAML manifest file which I have written in the GitHub repository. It is very simple, and in the persistent volume, just you can say that the kind is persistent volume here. Name is Keycloak PV using in default namespace. I'm attaching storage, like I'm using storage class. So this is the storage class name, and this is the claim reference, means the name of my persistent volume claim. This how much I'm asking for the storage, and access mode is read write once. So it will be connected with one pod, and it has read write capabilities, and I'm storing the data in MNT directory of my server or my node. And these are the node affinity, these are the flags, or sorry, these are the labels which I will be matching with the node. So here you can see that host name is node 01. So everything will be stored in my node 01. So I have already shown you that I am using the Kubernetes cluster in which I have a node which is named as node 01. So let us go to the terminal. And one more thing. So for installing Keycloak, I'm using Helm chart of CodeCentric. So thank you for them for creating this Helm chart here. So let's add this repository to my Kubernetes cluster. It has been added. Let us check if it is visible in the list or not. Yeah, you can see. And sorry. Okay, let us install this chart. Okay, so as you can see that the chart has been deployed because the status is deployed here, and we can check that using Helm ls as well. So here you can see the name of my chart is Keycloak, which you can see, which you can see that I have given you the release name here. Okay, so chart is done. We can also check the pods if they are running. Okay, so two pods are there. One is Keycloak and another is Keycloak PostgreSql. So these both pods are stateful sets, and let us wait for them when they will be active. So my database pod is running. I'm just waiting for the Keycloak pod to get active here. So in this command, with what I'm doing is I'm just storing the values of my Helm chart into a new file, into a new YAML file, because I have to do some modifications according to it. Okay, let's check if my pods are running or not. Once again, clear this. Yeah, my both pods are running. Let us let us create a new YAML manifest file which is storing the values of my Helm chart here. Okay, so here you can see the YAML file is created. Let us check what are the values. It has fetch. Okay, so here you can see it has stored all the values which was already there in the Helm chart. Uh, if you are familiar with the structure of Helm chart or the file structure of the Helm chart, that in Helm we have values.yaml, and we have to just tweak the values of values.yaml so that the files inside the template folder can efficiently use them. So I'm just using the same concept here. I'm just modifying the values so that it can integrate with the persistent volume which I have created in the chart in the Kubernetes cluster. So what I have to do is I have just to modify my new YAML manifest here. So let us open this. Okay, so I have to place. Okay, I have to first search the section of PostgreSql in this YAML manifest file, and I have to paste the thing which I have copied from the repository. Okay, let's find it. It's just below. Um, it's just below the ingress. I guess it is fine. Yeah. So we have reached to the desired section of the YAML manifest file. Correct the syntax of the YAML. So I have pasted the persistence and this dictionary in PostgreSQL section of this uh, values.yaml manifest file. Let us save this. Okay. So what I have to do is now let me uninstall or remove the chart and redeploy it again or reinstall it again. Helm ls. So what I have to do is helm uninstall Keycloak hyphen hyphen namespace, and namespace is default for the persistent volume and the values as well. So the chart has been removed successfully. Let us install it again using the same command. But now what I have to do is I have to add I have to explicitly mention the name of the file which is having the values so that it can successfully integrate the values with my chart. So here you can see there is no error and the chart has been deployed successfully. Let us check if the pods are running or not. Okay, they have started. So after this, I will update my repo. Let us update this. Let us open a new tab and update my repository, Helm repository. Okay, okay, kubectl get. They are taking longer time than expected. Let us check what is happening behind. So let us check kubectl describe pod. Let us check the PostgreSql pod here. What it is saying, by two nodes, positioning Keycloak. Okay, let us check kubectl get pvc. Oh, I forgot. So what I have to do is I have to first apply the YAML manifest file which I have taken from uh, my GitHub repository, which I've cloned in my Kubernetes cluster. So let us apply those simultaneously. My pvc.yaml and my storage class as well. Okay, so my PVC and storage class has been created here. Now let us check if the pods are running or not. Initially, before reinstalling my Helm chart, when I showed you that my pods were running successfully, they were running successfully because at that moment I have not integrated my persistent volume with the chart or like with my deployments and all. So this is why it was not giving me any error. But after reinstalling them and after modification, they started giving me error because I have not applied the manifest file accordingly. So now let us check if the pods are running or not. So here you can see both of the pods are running successfully. So what I have to do is now I have to expose the port in which my Keycloak service is running. So let us first check the service is running or not. Okay, so I have to expose this service. So let us edit this service here, and by default it is using tester IP. So to access this, I am using notebook type here. So kubectl edit service. So let us go to the bottom and insert, and now change this cluster IP type to notebook. Fine. So now let us check what port has been assigned to this service by a Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so this service is using 31167 port. So let us access this application. So here you can see the homepage of Keycloak. Welcome to Keycloak here. We can also go to the documentation page, Keycloak project mailing list, report an issue. So this is by default provided by Keycloak, and they will redirect to the official website of Keycloak. But currently, we do not need this. We just have to access our own admin console. So to access the admin console, we have to first create initial admin user. So now we have to move back to the terminal here, and what we have to do is we have to just add these two fields, which is Keycloak user and Keycloak password, so that we can have a initial admin user and password to access the console. So what I have to do is I have just copied it. What I have to do again, I have to again modify my Keycloak YAML manifest. What I have to do again is now just open this again. Now I have to paste this inside. I guess I have to, yeah, in the extra environment section. So I have to serve that. It's very easy to add these two values. So yeah, here in additional environment variable for key clock, I have to add these two values, key value pairs. Okay, so let us do it carefully. So please be careful with the syntax and the indentation whenever you will be using this data. So I think I have done it correctly. Save this file. Now, instead of installing or removing my Helm chart, what I will do is I will simply upgrade my Helm chart. Let us check if it will upgrade it or not. So yeah, upgradation of my existing Helm chart is successfully done. And let us check the service again. Okay, now again I have to edit the service because as I have upgraded the Helm chart, so it has reset the modifications which I have done for the service. So I have to uh, change the service type again to notebook. Not a big thing. Have to again edit the HTTP service of Keycloak, insert it, and in the type we just have to place node port correctly. Fine. So let us see which port we have been given. Okay, so now again you have to use this. This page is not required. So here you can see that that error which we were seeing just few minutes back, that is gone. So here you can see administration console we have. Let us check it. Let us. Okay. So here you can see that white screen is there, and we are not able to insert our credentials which we have generated. So to solve this issue, what we have to do is we have to check the stateful set or the pods which we have created. So let us do this, and we have to edit our key clock stateful set. Let us edit this, and we have to place this key value pair inside my stateful set. So let us do this. So we have just to scroll down a little bit. Okay, okay. Yeah, here. So here you can see the stateful set is using the Keycloak user and password, which we have modified using the Helm chart, and inside that my Keycloak YAML manifest file. So now again we have to edit this stateful set, place this value, and the value will differ for you as well, because currently I am using the URL of my Killer Coda server, but for you, it could be the load balancer or any URL or your domain itself or your DNS name. So please make sure to replace it with the correct value of your front end URL. So what I have to do is I just have to copy this till.com. Yeah, I think I have to paste HTTPS as well. Yeah, let me edit this by myself. Yeah, I forgot that. HTTPS. Fine. So I have correctly used the indentation value. Okay, now let us save this. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm using. Okay, so stateful set has been edited successfully and it is saved. So now what we have to do is we just have to refresh this page. Let me do this again. This get SVC. So it's using 30258. Let me do this. I think we have to wait for few minutes uh, to get active. Let me check if the pods are running correctly or not after saving the things. Yeah, the pods are running fine. Okay, so our page is up, means our home page is up for Keycloak. Now let us uh, access the administration console. So here you can see we have easily created the Keycloak, and we are into the page where we can sign in to the account. So we just have to enter the username and password which we have given in the Keycloak values file, or that Helm values file. So which is admin, and password is also admin. Don't save. So here you can see that we have successfully installed Keycloak in our Kubernetes cluster, and now we can also set up the users and assign roles to them as well. So for this video, okay, after login and creating the user real from UI, let us check. Okay, so now let us just first create a realm. Means it is a kind of a section or a department in which we can place users accordingly to the department. So, like, suppose we have a realm like infrastructures where we will be storing the values of or the users value of our SREs, architects, etc. And we can also create a new realm of developers where we can like store the values of our uh, developers and QA engineers as well, etc., etc. You can just create a number of realm. So let us just do this DevOps. Okay, so I'm just giving this DevOps. Create it. Yeah, so success. The realm has been created. So inside DevOps realm, let's create a user. So user. So please be aware that this is an admin console. So you can add anyone, and you have the flexibility to modify the roles, the policies, and everything which is inside this console. So let us create a username. Let me give it Rohan. Rohan@com. first name. So I think these this sample data is enough to check the things which I am trying to do in couple of minutes. So let us save this. So you can see that username has been successfully created. Sorry, the user has been successfully created. We can check this going to the users and view all users. So here you can see the details which we have filled. Okay, so this is the one way where you can check the users which you have created. So another way is we can also check the same in our PostgreSqL database because which we have integrated Keycloak with PostgreSQL database to store the values of the consoles, and as we are also using persistent volume, so our data is also persistent at uh, in the inside the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, now let's open new tab. So to access the database, first we have to check the persistent volume. So the persistent volume which we are using is Keycloak PV. Okay, let us describe this. Okay, so here you can see that persistent volume is integrated with the PVC, which is Keycloak volume. Reclaim policy is retained here, and capacity is 2 GB, 2GI, and the data of our key clock is stored in MNT directory. So we can directly go to the node and we can check that if it is storing the data or not. So we have SSH into the node 01 because I have shown you that in our PV we have already mentioned that using the node affinity feature, that everything will be stored inside the MNT directory and it will be stored in node 01 node, which is inside the Kubernetes cluster. So let us directly go to the MNT directory, cd data, and here you can see that everything is stored correctly. Okay, so now let us exit from node. So this is the one way, and to check that the user which we have created is successfully created, is saved or not. We can also use. We can also go inside our Keycloak PostgreSQL pod, and inside that also we can check that the values of the users. So first we have to uh, log in our PostgreSQL database. So this is the command for login. So it is asking for the password for the user key club, but we don't have the password. So for getting the password, what we can do is, yeah, let me do this that way. Kubectl get sts, kubectl describe sts key clock PostgreSQL. Okay, so if whenever you will be performing the same exercise in your Kubernetes cluster and you are also confused, like from where we have to fetch the password, so what you can do is you can check the stateful set or the pod which you have created for Keycloak PostgreSQL, and after getting the value, you just describe and just scroll to the bottom, and here you can see that for the Postgres password, the password of our database is stored in a secret, which is already created by the Helm jar, and the name of our secret is Keycloak PostgreSQL. So what you can do is we will check the secret if this secret has been created inside our Kubernetes cluster or not. So let us check. So here you can see these are the secrets, and which secret we have to check is Keycloak PostgreSql. So here you can see that it's been created. So you also aware that whatever is whatever the value which we store inside the secret is encoded. So first we have to decode the value of that also. So for decoding the value of our password, we can use this command, which is which is just decoding the password in the base64. So here you can see the value of after decoding the password is Keycloak. So now we will be using this password, and let us check if we are able to log in or not. So here you can see we are able to log in, and now let us check the value. So here I'm giving the query, I'm just giving a very easy query. Select star from user entity where username is admin. So admin is our default username because it is the username which we have created in the initial phase of installing the Keycloak, and we will be getting the values of this as well. Okay, so here you can see that this is the username. Username is admin here, and it is inside the realm master. So master realm, it was created by default from Keycloak. So and the admin user is inside this master realm. So let us modify this with the username which we have created. So we have created the username Rohan. Now let us place this value here and enter. So here you can see that it has given the table value of our username Rohan. So this is the email which we have entered when we were creating the user. This is the email constraint. This is the first name. This is the realm, and this is the user. So here you can see that it is successfully showing the correct values of the users which we have created using the console, and the database has successfully stored the values. Now let us just edit more so that we can check that if it is storing everything in real time or not. Let me add another thing, which is my surname. Save this. Okay, changes have been saved correctly. Now again go back to my PostgreSQL database. Again run the same query, and here you can see that it has successfully displayed the value of my last name as well, which I have just added. So this is how you can create and set up Keycloak in your Kubernetes cluster, and you can set up a good or open source IAM framework in your project. And Keycloak has other features as well, like other section as well, like clients, client scopes, roles, and identity providers, user federation, authentication. So in my next video, what I'm thinking, I will be using authentication feature of Keycloak for my Argo CD tool, where I will be deploying a simple application so that I will be accessing my uh, Argo CD dashboard using Keycloak credentials, which and I will be creating a new user in my Keycloak, and then creating the credential, then integrating the same with my Argo CD cluster, and then deploying the application. So this is my plan to use Keycloak in my next video. I hope you have got some understanding like how we can integrate Keycloak in our Kubernetes cluster. So this is all for the video. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.